Hello, little seasoners, and welcome to the Third Advent YouTube channel. Please visit my YouTube channel profile and About page to find my Google Drive link so you can view and or download my free study book. Today's video, we will be discussing Revelation 20 and especially getting into the little season from Revelation 20 verse 3. It has much mystery enshrouding it. And what we're going to do is look into this chapter and see what kind of timeline clues we can find. So my notes were, chapter 20 mentions 1,000 years 6 times, verses 2 through 7. So 1,000 times equals 6,000 years out of a 7,000 total year timeline. Revelation 20 verse 3 clue mentions a season which is theorized to be a 360-year period or 359 years. And then we have the 1,000 years to add into that timeline. So the esoteric calculation would be 7,000 years minus 360 equals 6640 minus 1,000 equals 5640. So the millennium circa would be 5640 through 6640. Now with God's solar timeline, we're starting from year one of Adam and Eve all the way to the omega of the 7,000th year. So a thought is about this chapter, if the nations get a season of time after the Son of Man's kingdom has expired, then it would be logical to figure out that the 6th day, aka the 6,000 years for humanity, have not yet finished. Revelation 20 verse 3, the esoteric calculation. If we know God's creation has 7,000 years, minus a season and a 1,000-year period, we are able to determine a time frame. A moment of eureka happened when chapter 20 was multiplied by its verse 3. The sum of 60 was then subtracted from the 7,000th year. Next, the new sum of 6940 was reduced by multiplying 6 by 940 to yield the theoretical coming year 5640. This concept now enables the remaining hints in the passage to suggest a potential timeline guide for the calculation. And then it says see parts 1 through 3. We're on page 10 of my free downloadable book. So what basically happened was it is showing the possibility when the 1,000 years started and when the 1,000 years ended. And once you look at these two parts on page 10, you can see that when you subtract the end of the 1,000 years from the 7,000 year timeline, you get a theoretical idea of 360 years left. And throughout this study, we'll be trying to build proof and evidence for this theory. And so the timeline mystery would be 7,000 years minus a season minus 1,000. And so what we're saying on the other side of that is the timeline solved is 7,000 minus 360 equals 6640 minus 1,000 equals 5640. And this is also on earlier videos that I showed the theoretical Advent timeline of Jesus Christ. So the clues out of Revelation 20 verse 3, we know we have a 1,000-year period and a season. And the mystery is, when does the 1,000 years start and end? And when and how long is a season? And that's what part 1 tries to illustrate in this page 10 section of Revelation 20 verse 3 esoteric calculation. I thought I'd bring it to everybody's attention. I thought it was quite a coincidence, maybe even divine. What are your thoughts? Page 11 of the Third Advent Study. The septenary cipher will be used to decode the word season from Revelation 20 verse 3. Sept is the number 7 in French, and 7 is symbolic for divine completion in the Bible. This key number is also used to compute jubilees on a 7-year cycle. There are 857 jubilees on God's 6,000-year timetable. 6,000 years divided by a 7-year cycle equals 857 total jubilees. We're going to be looking at the septenary cipher, and this septenary cipher can be found on septenarygematria.com. It's a free cipher. It's the correct one, in my humble opinion, and Marty Leeds brought it to the public. God bless him for his work and bringing this cipher to the world's attention. So what we're going to do in this investigation is just type in the word season. And seasons, letters, decoded numbers that are assigned to each letter are 651, 621. And what I did is I just multiplied those 6 numbers out, and they came to 360. So season was typed in. We multiplied the decoded numbers out and we had 360. Very interesting and a possible confirming witness to a 360-year season of the Bible. Only time will tell. Page 12 of the Third Advent Theoretical Study, we're going to decode little season with the septenary cipher from Revelation 20, verse 3. Little sum came to 28, and season's gematria total came to 21, for a total gematria total of 49. So what I did was I just took as we had talked about earlier, 6,000 years is the 7-year Jubilee cycle is 857 total Jubilees. I just subtracted little sum from 857 and season sum from 857. So 857 minus 28, 857 minus 21. I took those two deducted sums and then add them together. And we came up with the Gregorian year 1665. And then we took season, which we learned on the last page, that its 6 decoded numbers multiplied out, added up to 360. So 360 plus 1665 clue, we got 2025. Very interesting. Now what I did next was I took the gematria total 49 and I used a 120-year Jubilee cycle to the number 49 as if it were the 49th Jubilee. And I was calculating it circa. So you have to have a start year and an end year over a 120-year period. So 49 times 120 gives you 5,880th year, which is the start year. And then you add 120 years onto that, so you know when that 120-year period ends, which is the year 6,000. Then I just took the 6,000th year, subtracted season, which we decoded was 360, with its numbers multiplied out after it was decoded, and we came up with 5640. So 5640 on God's solar timeline is also equivalent to the year 1665 on the Gregorian calendar. So this information all added up, and it helps solidify this theory so far. Well, that's it for the season study. Thank you for listening. I hope you found it interesting. Remember, this is all theoretical information. I'm not trying to set dates for the end of the world, but it's definitely worth bringing up some of these numerical patterns that we'll be seeing consistently throughout this study. May God bless you and keep your family safe. If you want to subscribe, thank you. And if you find this information worthy and godly to consider, then please help spread the word about this channel and a free book that everybody can read. Thanks a lot.